Hi everyone! So today's video is all about fruit and vegetables. We all know we should probably be eating a lot more fruit and vegetables than we do. And what are they good for? Well, research really shows that diets high in fruit and vegetables can help reduce your risk of cancer, cardiovascular disease, stroke, but also obesity, type 2 diabetes, and even potentially dementia. So we should certainly be aiming to get at least 5 portions of fruit and vegetables a day. Recent studies, and in fact over the years, we've seen lots of headlines and lots of studies coming out saying that actually 5 a day is the minimum and we should be eating far more. And very recently we had the headlines that we should be eating 10 portions of fruit and vegetables a day to get the maximum health benefits. Now, this is quite difficult for us because already we know from the latest National Diet and Nutrition Survey data that in the UK, very few people actually meet this. It's around about 27% of adults in the UK that actually consume 5 portions of fruit and vegetables a day. So really coming out and saying 10 portions is the best for reducing your risk of various long-term chronic diseases is all well and good from a scientific perspective, but we're not going to be changing our public health recommendations just yet. 5 a day is still a good target given that most of us really aren't meeting that at the moment. So where does 5 a day come from? The World Health Organization recommends that we consume about 400 grams of fruit and vegetables a day. Now that's equivalent to about 5 portions of 80 grams each. And it's important that you eat a variety of vegetables, and really variety is key here, particularly if you go for lots of different colours of fruits and vegetables, because then you'll be getting the biggest range of vitamins and minerals and nutrients that you can. So really I do recommend eating a rainbow throughout the week. Choose lots of different colours so you're getting a variety of nutrients. It's really important to remember that eating any fruit and vegetables is going to have health benefits. So even introducing 2 or 3 portions a day, if you're not eating any, is going to help you reduce your risk of cardiovascular disease and cancer, for example. Even though that risk reduction might be small, it's still significant and certainly on a population basis. So it's really important that we encourage people to eat more fruit and vegetables. So there's a perception that fruit and vegetables are expensive. And I think when you're feeding a family of 4 and you've got a lot of mouths to feed and a lot of appetites and maybe some fussy eaters that won't eat certain things and will eat others, then yes, it can start to get expensive. But there are lots of tips and tricks that you can make to really reduce the cost. So the first thing is buying frozen. There are loads of different frozen fruits and vegetables available now. It's not just frozen peas, you can get green beans, you can get mushrooms, you can get butternut squash even, and that is a saviour for me because I've wrestled with so many butternut squashes in my time trying to chop them up. These great big huge things and it's so difficult to chop, so it's certainly great to have diced butternut squash available in the freezer aisle. You can get frozen fruit, frozen berries, you can get all sorts of different types of frozen veg. Frozen spinach is another favourite of mine. So there's a huge variety now and it's a lot cheaper, and also you reduce waste because you only cook what you need and the rest stays in the freezer. So unlike the waste where you've maybe found some broccoli in the back of the fridge and it's gone a little bit yellow and you have to throw it out because it's just gone a bit disgusting, you don't get that with frozen veg. So it's cheap, there's a lot less waste, and it's really great to have on standby. So I just wanted to give you some of my top tips for really pimping up your breakfast, your lunch, your dinner, your snacks, for example, to get more fruits and vegetables into your diet easily. So here's what I have on standby in my freezer. So I buy, it doesn't have to be Waitrose, it can be anywhere, they do them in every shop, it just came in my Ocado order, but Frozen berries are brilliant. You can put them in smoothies. I add them to overnight oats, for example, so I mix up yogurt and oats. I put some frozen berries in, a few almonds, a sprinkle of sultanas, and then I just put that in the fridge all mixed up and I leave it overnight, and the next day I can just grab and go. If I'm going out early in the morning, I just have it in a lidded pot and I just take it with me, and that's a great way of getting one of my 5 a day without even having to think about it. So frozen fruit, brilliant for smoothies, overnight oats. You could add them onto porridge or any breakfast cereal. You can also slice up fruit, for example, banana or apple or berries, and put those on top of your breakfast cereal, put them on your muesli, put them on your porridge, that kind of thing. It's another great way to get one of your 5 a day at breakfast time. Baked beans on toast, that's another way they count towards one of your 5 a day. And a glass of fruit juice, it's really simple. Keep it to 150 mils, no more, because it's very high in sugar, it's quite acidic. Make sure that you have it with a meal as well, because it's very sort of acidic on your teeth, so eating it with a meal will reduce the amount of acid damage to your teeth. But again, a great way to get one of your 5 a day at breakfast time. So snack time. Again, fresh fruit is brilliant because it's portable, you can take it anywhere with you, it's easy to eat, although I did once see a guy trying to eat a peach on a train, which was just really quite weird and really messy, but generally fruit is really easy to take with you. You can even chop it up and put it in little pots and take those along with you, mix up different types of fruits, for example, maybe even add some dried fruits just to give you a bit of variety. Vegetable sticks are another great way of getting vegetables into a snack. You can eat them with hummus, for example, tzatziki, cream cheese, that kind of thing. You could even have a couple of rice cakes or oat cakes with maybe some peanut butter and slices of apple or grape on. I know lots of people who do that, and it's really delicious. So again, lots of different snacks that you can try. Also for dessert or a snack, you could do natural yogurt and get some berries. Frozen berries again are brilliant, and just sort of smash them down a little bit so the juices leak out into the yogurt. And then it's a great way of adding natural sweetness without having to add any sugar or honey or anything like that. So again, if you leave that for a few hours, it's a great snack and it tastes quite sweet without having to have any added sugar. So what about lunch times? A great idea is to make your own soup, because you can put absolutely tons of whatever vegetables you have in your cupboard, in your fridge, all together, blend them up, add some pulses, for example, maybe some leftover chicken for some protein, and that makes a great lunch that you can take with you in a little cup and you can warm it up at work, and that's a great way to get lots of vegetables inside you really easily. If you prefer something like a sandwich or a wrap or a pita bread, for example, make sure that you add lots of different salad vegetables, for example. You can have watercress, lettuce, sliced tomato, cucumber, grated carrot. All of these kind of things work really well. I love a pita bread with hummus, grated carrot and watercress. It gives you a really nice kind of peppery bite, and it's really nice and crunchy. So there's lots of different things that you can do to make your sandwiches contain one of your 5 a day. So let's look at dinner time now and how you can put more vegetables into your evening meals. Now, I always start with a basic sauce. A basic tomato sauce is a great way to get more vegetables into your diet really easily. So start with chopped tomatoes, add some onions, but then I tend to go really off-piste if I'm making a bolognese sauce, for example. I'll put courgettes, I'll put mushrooms in, I'll add chopped aubergine, all sorts of different things. Mushrooms, for example, and I know it's a little bit off-piste, but it just really helps to get more vegetables into your evening meal. Same with chili. I'll add lots of different vegetables again, and then when I get towards the end of cooking, I'll add some pulses as well, canned pulses. So lentils I'll put into a bolognese, for example. I'll put kidney beans obviously into a chili, and not only does it make the meal go further, it reduces the fat content of the meat across the meal, and it also helps to add fibre, vitamins and minerals, and is another portion of your 5 a day. So that's another way that I try to get more into my cooking. Now I do a lot of one pot cooking because it's great at the beginning of the week to make a batch of food, and then I can portion it out, put it in the freezer, or let it last for a day or two. So I do loads of one pot cooking. So a winter stew, for example, with beef or lamb, I would put carrots, I would put sweet potato, butternut squash, for example, onions, shallots, that kind of thing. Again, just really lots of nice winter squash kind of vegetables to really help to get towards your 5 a day. You could even put butter beans in, for example, just to really sort of add some more veg. In summer, kind of one pot cooking, so maybe a huntsman's chicken, for example, with tomatoes, chicken, and I'd put maybe spring onions, some leeks, some celery, for example. I'd add some cannellini beans to give you a nice kind of summery, fresh or springtime kind of dish. Another great way is to roast Mediterranean vegetables, which is great in the summer again. So peppers, courgettes, aubergines, red onions, for example, great roasted with some herbs and olive oil. And you can put those in an omelette, you can have them with a salad, really delicious. In the winter, you can roast different vegetables like butternut squash again, which is great with feta cheese, and olive oil and some pine nuts maybe. Roasted winter vegetables, again, really delicious and a great way to get towards your 5 a day. So some other ideas for dinner for adding vegetables to one pot cooking, or lots of different types of cooking, soups for example, is frozen spinach. Now you can buy this in various supermarkets. I just ordered it from Ocado, but frozen spinach comes in little pods. And it's great because you can just dip into the freezer, grab a handful and chuck them in whatever cooking you're doing. Works really well with Thai kind of cooking, a lot of Asian inspired cooking, but really you can chuck them into loads of different dishes. Another thing I always have on standby is soya beans. These are great again for chucking into soups, putting into stews. Again, just another way to introduce vegetables into your cooking. So what's really important is that you set yourself a manageable goal. There's no point trying to eat 10 portions of fruit and vegetables a day if you're only currently eating 2. Just set yourself a manageable target of next week going for 3 portions. So add in an extra portion a day, stick at that for a few weeks, and then try to get yourself up to 4 a day. Make it manageable and realistic, otherwise you're just going to find it too difficult to try to go from 2 to 10 portions a day. That would be crazy. So it's just about being realistic with yourself and trying to work as a family or work with your friends, share tips and ideas, make it fun. So each week try to tick off the different colours of vegetables and fruits that you've had, maybe try a new fruit or vegetable that you've not had before, or cook it in a different way, for example. You know, it's going to get a bit boring if all you're having is the same boiled vegetables with your food every day. So try to think up new ways of cooking and new fruits and vegetables to try. Great ways to make it a bit more engaging, a bit more fun and a bit more realistic for you as a target. So I hope these tips have been useful. Do let me know if you try any of them and if they work for you. I hope I've managed to inspire you in the kitchen as well. But do add a message down below if you've got any comments or your own suggestions. And do subscribe to my blog and watch out for more videos coming soon. Take care. Bye.